Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back to Almighty Blues FC, a fan channel for all to see. No matter what we are there. लेकिन क्या आप लोग जुड़ेंगे? Because there's a lot of things that we have to discuss from that weekend, which cannot be avoided. थोड़ा controversy. I know during matches थोड़े controversy हुए थे. फिर obviously that Manchester derby. Of course, the London derby थोड़ा बहुत reflect करेंगे what happened in the couple of London derbies. But of course, not just EPL. EPL तो हम करेंगे top of the week, flop of the week, etc. And we'll be joined by an EPL Ultra as well. लेकिन of course, भाई ला लीगा में बवाल मचा है in the weekend, तो we cannot avoid that. Yes, Real Madrid का थोड़ा बहुत briefly we discussed during the live watch along on Almighty Sports yesterday, but we have to discuss further. But even Barcelona, यार मतलब very sad for the injuries. लेकिन have they missed a brilliant chance? Let's talk about that. So hopefully we'll have everyone in. जो भी जुड़े, first of all, let's hit that like button. Absolutely trying something new. So hopefully you guys back us. Again, always a fan channel for all see. So we'll come to each and every team as much as it is humanly possible. तो भाई सब लोग big up. Of course, Monday evening है. I get that. That कुछ especially Chelsea fans, Manchester United fans खुश नहीं है. दुख दर्द पीड़ा going to the next level and more. लेकिन we have to discuss what is the solution. Is there a solution? Is there some wrong kind of narrative going around in social media? या वो सही है. Let's talk about that. और I know जितना दुख दर्द पीड़ा होता है उतना ही ज्यादा हम बातें करते हैं. शनाया क्या है? We cannot do about it because at the end of the day, bhai, we love football and we love our respective clubs. So we'll be talking about that for sure because we cannot just not let it go. यार वो easy है बोलना. रमित तो already भाई शुरुआत में बोले Poch out. Yes, absolutely. Rahul, thanks again. Big up to, of course, the help that we've got here from Daksh, who's recommended, as well as Kushko. Shout out absolutely. Pranjal in the house. Harshit as well. Arey bhai, by the way, Daksh, all the best here for the Arsenal game. Aaj, of course, big night for Arsenal. But of course, we'll come to EPL. We'll have everyone join in, hopefully in the next few minutes, by everyone hitting that like and sharing the stream. लेकिन I think late night match था, तो थोड़ा बहुत वो discuss करेंगे in the beginning and then we'll go in detail into EPL as well. Of course, अपने दुख दर्द पीड़ा पर जाएंगे. लेकिन I think this has to be very sad यार. मतलब the fact that they are getting major injuries. I don't know. मतलब क्या रीजन है. मतलब अभी 2 घंटे पहले also it has been formalized. UCL ने actually वीडियो निकाली है, but the new format we'll be talking about tomorrow. Yes, UCL build up will be there tomorrow as always. But Barcelona getting so many injuries as well, not just other clubs. I think it has to be discussed यार. मतलब this is an issue for sure. मतलब ये एक वीक था जहां पर after the controversy of Saturday, जहां पर Real Madrid were almost robbed. Let's be real. Real Madrid were robbed in stoppage time in जब Brahim Diaz ने क्रॉस किया था. हमने सोचा कि maybe they want to make La Liga interesting, but नहीं. It was just a matter of moment, and a referee just decided to kind of blow the whistle. क्योंकि next दिन मतलब it didn't come up. मतलब it was a draw. I know match fix नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, absolutely नहीं. But I think it's a major issue. I don't know what you guys think about it. बार्सिलोना की इंजरीज, ऑफ कोर्स एक सेकंड लेग बाकी है अगेंस्ट नापोली. देयर हैज टू बी एन इशू. मेरे ख्याल से देयर आर सम अपसेट्स कमिंग एज मच एज बार्सिलोना फैंस वुड नॉट वांट टू हियर इट. आई कैन सी दैट. अब हर एक वीक बाय वीक यू आर प्लेइंग लामिन यमाल का शुरू नहीं किया था एंड देन ही फाइनली केम ऑन अगेन अर्ली. व्हाई? बिकॉज इंजरी. वापस से फ्रैंकी डियोंग, मतलब गावी इज ऑलरेडी आउट. There has to be a major issue in my opinion. I don't know. But again, Barca fans, I'm not sure if you're in. Of course, very sad. Pedri को especially यार, मतलब 2 बार हो गया उसको in a matter of few months, and this is someone golden boy of Europe. So as much as basically we say that they're over dependent, transfers were issues for Barcelona in the last few years. लेकिन let's be real, आपका अगर पेड्री, गावी और फ्रैंकी डियोंग are out, और फ्रैंकी डियोंग भी actually 2 बार हुआ है इस सीजन में. So this is bad news for Barcelona, but is there a solution? Fermin Lopez is there, Christensen playing in midfield, लेकिन let's be real, Frenkie de Jong और Pedri नहीं है. Italian clubs, प्रांजल बोल रहे हैं, और कुछ English clubs भी इंजरी अच्छा मैनेज कर लेते हैं, लेकिन जो क्लब स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं, अगर वो अपने प्लेयर्स भी फिट नहीं रख पा रहे तो मैनेजर क्या कर लेगा. बिल्कुल, मतलब अगेन that is where your academy helps, that is where your scouting helps, that is where your recruitment helps, budget helps. और वो वहां पर हमने पता ही है कि clubs like Barcelona and few clubs have basically not spent well, and of course मेरी खुद की क्लब भाई चेल्सी उस पर आएंगे. लेकिन मैंने टाइटल क्यों डाला है ऐसा? टाइटल क्यों डाला है? Of course The big talking point, bilkul, Daksh, there is definitely. I'm planning to do a video on that as well as basically I thought we'll discuss in detail when the panel is in. Absolutely, लेकिन हाँ, it's interesting. More matches. Again, injuries की हम बात करते थे Daksh about UCL and we'll talk about it in detail later. लेकिन generally more matches is definitely not good for the players. आपके व्यूअर्स के लिए भाई मोर मैचेस तो अच्छे ही होंगे और अगर आपके ज्यादा मैचेस होते हैं देन यू काइंड ऑफ गेट अ चांस टू बेसिकली मे बी गेट मोर कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ रिजल्ट्स जस्ट सेइंग आई डोंट नो तो मे बी एन एलिमेंट ऑफ सरप्राइज होगा स्पेशली फॉर द फर्स्ट कपल ऑफ इयर्स फिर देखते हैं बट आई हैव माय जूरी आउट कहीं ना कहीं मुझे लगता है इट इज फॉर द मनी वी ऑल नो दैट पेड्री एंड मेसन माउंट विक्टिम्स ऑफ ओवर प्लेइंग एट अ यंग एज मैनेजर्स ओवरयूज देम बिल्कुल और लमीन यमाल इज इन डेंजर ऑफ दैट एब्सोल्युटली बिल्कुल लेकिन यहाँ पर obviously talk about दुख दर्द पीड़ा यार मतलब it has to be spoken about the Manchester derby guys what happened यार हमने कवर किया ही था of course यहाँ पर नेथन जोड़ेंगे but we will have to see what went wrong मतलब I thought first half के अनुसार I thought that Manchester United had the game I know मतलब काउंटर में ही था मैन सिटी फिर भी ज्यादा शॉट्स मार रही थी मैन सिटी फिर भी ज्यादा पोजीशन रख रही थी और दे वर नॉट हैविंग द शूटिंग बुट्स ऑन बट रियली स्पीकिंग इट हैज टू बी मतलब एडमिटेड कि यार एरिक टेन हाग और पोचेटिनो जैसे जो मैनेजर्स है ना इंजरीज दोनों के हैं मतलब फेयर इनफ एरिक टेन हाग और पोचेटिनो दोनों की काफी इंजरीज है ना ऑप्शंस कम हो जाते हैं आई टोटली गेट दैट बट एट व्हाट पॉइंट यू रिमूव सर्टेन प्लेयर्स दैट हैज टू बी क्वेश्चनड और आप किससे रिप्लेस कर रहे हो इट हैज टू बी वेरी मच क्वेश्चन मतलब उस समय में आपके पास जो अपना गोल स्कोरर है ऑल्दो ही मिस चांसेस रैशफोर्ड आपने उसको ही हटा लिया और आप ला रहे हो पीपल लाइक आम्रबात अगेन यंगस्टर्स कमिंग इन वो तो भाई अनअवॉइडेबल लेकिन कोबी माइनू एट द सेकंड हाफ शुरुआत में भाई बढ़िया था ही वाज प्लेइंग जस्ट अहेड ऑफ मैकटोमिनी एंड कैसेमिरो ऑलमोस्ट तो फॉर दैट काउंटर कोबी माइनू कैसेमिरो एंड रैशफोर्ड वर एक्चुअली वर्किंग विद ब्रूनो कीपिंग द लाइन एज अ फ्लोटिंग नाइन आई डोंट नो मेरे ख्याल से दे गॉट इट रॉन्ग अगेन फर्स्ट हाफ में उन्होंने किया था जो चेल्सी ने किया था फर्स्ट 60 मिनट्स के लिए एंड दैट इज समथिंग दैट दे गॉट इट राइट बट अगेन जैसे मैंने बोला मैन सिटी वर नॉट इन ए प्लस ग्रेड हैविंग सेड दैट ग्वार्डियोला के लिए भाई थोड़ा बहुत बोलना पड़ेगा कांग्रेचुलेशंस एंड द ऑफ कोर्स टाइटल रेस तो चल ही रहा है बट आई हैव टू से बी सेइंग इट भाई चेल्सी पर आएंगे बट आई एम रियली एंग्री विद ग्वार्डियोला एंड मैन सिटी एज अ क्लब सॉरी गाइस आई एम रियली एंग्री द रीजन इज बिकॉज उन्होंने वापस से वही किया है Kovacic is being wasted at Man City. I genuinely believe it. He's literally being wasted at Man City. As much as आप जीत रहे हो और again you're coming back to the title race charge proper March वाला, but I have to say it again and again. और जो लोग उसको believe नहीं करते, let me know why don't you believe. But talk about midfielders and Foden who scored a brace and brilliant performance. Of course, भाई England का golden boy है, 100%. Europe का golden boy भी होगा. Having said that, गाइस व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट दिस मतलब आया मैं दिखाने वाला हूं आप लोग लेकिन पहले कमेंट्स लेते हैं एफपीएल 89 भाई साहब कोई नहीं नो प्रॉब्लम फैक्ट्स बिल्कुल के नहीं बोल रहे हैं यहां पर बट आई विल से वेल प्लेड सिटी द डिफरेंस इन क्वालिटी इज मैड पॉच तो हाफ टाइम पे पता नहीं क्या बोलता वो भी स्टार का कर रहा अमित आई हैव सर्टेन स्टैट्स दैट यू विल बी लाइक शॉक्ड यू विल बी शॉक्ड The second half was painful if you're a Manchester United fan. Absolutely. Just I want to say Rashford and Evans were playing with injury. Okay, fair enough. Maybe that is why. Maybe I did not have that context in mind. Lekin, again, Kobe Maino, I think he could have played the entire game in my personal opinion. He was having a great second half in my opinion. ये मेरा personal opinion. Again, roles were changed. Anthony came in थोड़ा बहुत impact के लिए, but we all know he's not that confident player. जैसे प्रांजल ने highlight किया है. When United brought ETH, परवीन बोल रहे, they did it because they wanted that Ajax were doing. But it was all missing for more than 1.5 years. If this is how they are going to play, they are better. To be honest, Parveen, again, थोड़ा context, injuries is a fact. We cannot say no. वो एक fact है. वो है यूनाइटेड के वन ऑफ द मोस्ट मतलब इंजरीज हुए जैसे हम लालिगा में बात करते हैं अबाउट बार्सिलोना वैसे यूनाइटेड आर देयर एंड दैट्स अ फैक्ट बट अगेन आप जो प्लेयर्स है हैव यू मैनेज देम वेल दैट्स आल्सो क्वेश्चन सो वहां पर मैं टोटली अग्री करता हूं दैट देयर आर प्लेयर्स हु आर मे बी बेटर फुटबॉलर्स देन व्हाट दे आर शोइंग सेम चीज पोचेटिनो का क्यों हम चेल्सी फैंस लॉट ऑफ इट मतलब सोशल मीडिया इज सो नेगेटिव इफ यू इवन गो टू सोशल मीडिया ना आज के दिन में चेल्सी का इतना नेगेटिव है मैं ट्राई कर रहा हूं थोड़ा बहुत न्यूट्रल रहने के लिए एब्सोल्युटली ऑफ कोर्स पेन हो रहा है सफर हो रहा है बट इट्स डिफिकल्ट यार मतलब clubs like United and Chelsea have literally been spoiled in the last 20 years and that's a fact. Barca forever, big up. Sarri nahi yaar. Again, Pochettino, Sarri, Eric Ten Hag, kind of मतलब फुटबॉल वाइज दे आर ऑन पेपर गुड फुटबॉल मैनेजर्स, ठीक है, लेकिन कैन दे मैनेज एट अ बिग क्लब वेयर आपकी एक्सपेक्टेशन इतनी ज्यादा है, मतलब दैट इज द थिंग दैट आई एम टॉकिंग, आई डोंट सी दैट हैपनिंग। एंड यस, इस पर आएंगे रमित, उस पर ही आएंगे, मेरे को बात करना है गाइस, एंड मैं पहले कर देता हूं इसके पहले कि यू नो बेसिकली नेतन ज्वाइन करे, नहीं तो नेतन से लड़ाई हो जाएगी मेरी, पर बिग अप टू हिम एब्सोल्युटली। लेकिन गाइस सीरियसली मैन, guys, how many of you all agree with Paul Scholes' comment? मतलब again, Phil Foden might be a generational player, absolutely, मैं कोई deny नहीं कर रहा, Phil Foden is the golden boy of Europe, golden boy of England, absolutely agreed, ठीक है, but to say Phil Foden is a better footballer than Frank Lampard, आप बेटर फुटबॉलर का डेफिनेशन क्या है, मतलब यू गेट sexy football, you get those half spaces, you get basically one touch football, triangles, आप उसको बोलते हो बेटर फुटबॉल, which might be better football in your sense, Paul Scholes absolutely a great passer, a shooter, absolutely। भाई सीरियसली पॉल स्कोल्स तूने फ्रैंक लैम्पार्ड के साथ खेला, अगेन आपने बोलना चाहिए, अगेन रेस्पेक्ट है, नो टू वेज अबाउट इट, एंड अगेन पीपल नो इट, मैं पॉल स्कोल्स को वन ऑफ द गोट्स में मानता हूं इन टर्म्स ऑफ मिडफील्डर्स इन इंग्लैंड। Having said that, it totally delusional comment. Totally. Guys, Frank Lampard in his prime was the best midfielder in the world. People call me deluded. Please go back and watch those live for 90 minutes. Don't watch only the highlights. Don't watch only the stats. Watch the highlight for 90 minutes and match by match, week by week, season by season between 2004 and 2010. वो 6 सालों में फ्रैंक लैम्पार्ड ने जो किया था, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल फ्रैंक लैम्पार्ड्स मतलब ड्यूरेबिलिटी वाज सेकंड टू नन, फ्रैंक लैम्पार्ड डिजायर वाज सेकंड टू नन, Frank Lampard's free kicks was also almost second to none, Frank Lampard's assist range was second to none, Frank Lampard's ability to play with both feet was second to none. So I am not having any of it, I'm sorry guys, and but that is what it is. Again, I know Nathan has joined backstage, I'll get him his views, and that's a great point because he definitely knows and he's seen live of all. Again, I'm not trying to compare and say that ek bahut bura hai than the other, but to outright say that, and again, unfortunately, a lot of kids of today don't know that. फ्रैंक लैम्पार्ड भाई साहब रोनाल्डिनो के पीछे आया था बैलन डोर में, अगेन उन दिनों के बैलन डोर आज के बैलन डोर जैसे नहीं होते थे, as much as Messi and Ronaldo are the goods, no one is denying that, but to tell that Phil Foden is a better footballer than Frank Lampard, the first part of the statement is absolutely rubbish in my opinion, rubbish। आप जैसे देखते हो फुटबॉल अलग होता है, and I know Phil Foden has achieved a lot at 23-24, I know that। Frank Lampard was also very young, guys. Go back to when Jose Mourinho came first time. Frank Lampard was also very young at that time. People easily forget. वही short term memory loss, गजनी बन जाते हैं सब लोग। लेकिन again, Lampard scored goals and won leagues for his club from midfield. यहाँ पर even City fans are angry. City fans are angry because they are saying that Phil Foden also has won, and he's won more leagues than Lampard already. The fact is, Lampard was the main guy in winning that league. There's a huge difference between that, City fans. Respect to Phil Foden. Lampard was the main guy. I repeat, Lampard was the main guy. Again, I am baffled. Coming from Paul Scholes, and again, Gary Neville ने बोला था billion, bottle jobs, etc. Fair enough. But वहां पर भी मेरे पास एक stat है, and I'll get Nathan. Nathan, I know probably I'm starting on an offensive note, but I'll get on Nathan here. Firstly, let me add Nathan. Nathan, first of all, big up, bro. Long time no see. Always good to see you. Big up, Nathan. Yeah, sports of Nathan को सब लोग check out. But Nathan, I'll get the Gary Neville part, and I'll get the Manchester United feedback from you, and of course we'll make a team of the week, the flops of the week, and all that. वो तो करते ही रहेंगे. लेकिन पहले, obviously you heard my rant, a mini rant backstage. Probably if you were not there, I would have gone on and on about it. But maybe you can agree to disagree. What do you think about Paul Scholes' statement? Do you think it was like भावनाओं में बह गया बंदा?
I think the last time we had this exact same discussion where I always tell people, listen, just respect these pundits as players, because sometimes they just...
Yeah, it's because of the fact that they are live, and again, we guys are ourselves, content creators like us. Sometimes we say things, sometimes you don't really mean it word by word, but it comes out and then you correct it. Like,
see, I think our defense is very simple, Ankit. That might sound like a cop out, but I think our defense is very simple. We do everything in the heat of the moment. Whereas they have been hours and hours and hours of media training as a player, then hours of media training by the network, and then they are put in front of that stage to have these kind of discussions.
Hmm.
That's why you don't see Troy Deeney do a lot of these shows. There's a reason for that.
Yeah,
Troy
because he
Deeney
speaks his mind. He speaks his mind. Absolutely true.
watch a Troy Deeney podcast and tell me when's he going to get a job on Sky. It's not going to be anytime soon. I think everyone in the chat has a better chance of getting a job
Hmm.
at Sky before him. Um, I don't know what it is. I have a feeling it's something to do with the fact that he's from Manchester, which is kind of sad because he's not even from the same side of Manchester.
Yeah.
It could be the fact that I don't know. Maybe there's something going on between Paul and Frank. I'm not really sure what is this because it could be like subliminal shots. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
matlab,
everyone
Nathan, okay, let me
you
get
know,
one thing out of you.
let's be
Nathan, I'll
honest.
quickly
Chelsea's a
stop you.
very
Sorry,
easy
but
target, right?
1 second, Nathan. I'll just have to stop you because one thing that I want you to second me, or maybe even you can disagree. One point I really want to make sure that why is Frank Lampard again? I know changing the topic, but this triggers me again and again for the last few years, especially जब से social media active हुआ है. Frank Lampard को ऐसे क्यों frame किया जाता है? He was just a goal scoring midfielder, bro. Bro, matlab, come on, man. He was like the fulcrum of Chelsea when in a prime, and everyone knows we were directly competing with Manchester United at the best as Sir Alex.
Actually, you know what? Let me sum it up in a much better way, Ankit. Not in a much better way, but from a different point of view. Okay? Let me explain it this way to you, to all the young fans at least. My dad is an Arsenal fan, and
Hmm.
we grew up in the era where you support Arsenal, you're straight the enemy. It doesn't matter if you're London, doesn't matter what other rivalries they had back when I started watching football. We just didn't like Arsenal. I think everyone in the chat who knows me probably knows that about me for sure. Respect, obviously, to Arsene Wenger and his team, but never liked them. I will only put it this way. My dad always, as an Arsenal fan, would absolutely loved John Terry and Frank Lampard.
Hmm.
My dad always told me
Terry's
when you
I think
watch
hero was
John
Tony
Terry.
Adams.
Yeah, I think the best way to explain it, my dad always told me, John Terry plays like he has the biggest heart in the world, and I think Lampard would follow suit in that position. For me, Frank Lampard and John Terry. I mean, I can't stand them. Fortunately, I support England. It's a lose-lose for me anyhow. When I say this statement is like a very big contradiction for me only in the end. But I mean, it was something else. When I saw Lampard take the Chelsea job, I was like, this is not going to end well. I was
but
shaking
but
my
do
head. I was
you,
like,
do you
this is
think
not.
Parveen has a point? It's because वो recency bias होता है ना क्योंकि Lampard ने as a manager did so bad in the
But
second
Parveen,
stint.
respectfully, I don't think so. I just think there's a lot more new young fans. Like there's some people who just didn't watch Lampard play. There's
That
nothing
is
wrong
what
with
it's
that.
saying.
I
But
never,
he's
I
been
never
projected
watched.
as a goal scoring midfielder. That's it, which is great. But
I never watched Dennis Irwin play. I never watched Dennis Irwin play. I only watched
yeah,
Patrice Evra play.
yeah,
I love Patrice Evra.
yeah.
I love this game, that meme, all that. That's all great and good, and the turban and all that. That's great. But I actually only watched Patrice Evra play left
And
back
by
for
the way,
like the
Nathan,
majority of my life.
these are different players we're talking about. First of all, Scholes को वो compare ही नहीं किया जाता. I see Foden as someone who is like a half space player who kind of comes in from the right or comes in from the left. Frank Lampard is the core of
He's in the
midfield,
middle.
bro. There's a huge difference.
In the
He
middle.
can
He
play
was in
that
the
Foden's
middle.
there, but that's not his
He had
position.
that lovely free roaming role, much like Gerrard did back in the
Huh,
day.
which is good, which is
In fact,
great.
let me push back a little bit. One of the reasons I don't have any pride in supporting England is because we have wasted our talent internationally. They used
Huh.
to, because of shoving Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes in one midfield. They used to
Yeah,
put
and
Paul
Hargreaves
Scholes
also did not get
on the
opportunities because
wing.
of
They
that.
used to put Paul Scholes on the wing. We had so many midfielders
Hmm.
that we actually had to play them out of position, which brings me to my point of a certain donkey that was sitting at the Manchester derby that I will not bring up because no one else has mentioned it. I am very worried about where Phil Foden is going to play to sum it up. Frank Lampard was in the middle. He was a free roamer. He would play for the one thing I love about when I grew up watching football that I will never replace with anything that the new fans, younger fans, I should say, have is that I have seen time and time and time again players play only for the badge. No
Hmm.
brand deals, no interviews, no nothing, no FIFA covers, nothing. Just for the badge. Everywhere I saw players in every league, you could see and you could tell they are team players. And I will love that. And Frank Lamp, I don't know what is this Scholes on about. I don't know what he's on about, but they're just different players. I
मतलब
don't want to
I'll
compare.
ask लास्ट ये टॉपिक से आगे बढ़ते आई नो देयर इज लॉट टू डिस्कस क्विक yes or no में आई नीड एन आंसर इवन चैट आप बोलिए अगेन स्कोल्स वाज अ लेजेंड एंड सो वाज लैम्पार्ड आई वुड से एब्सोल्युटली मतलब दोज लेकिन एक चीज मैं बोलता हूँ because of maybe वो ये subconsciously not that purposely किया है because these guys are so great that they are not so मतलब इतना cheap नहीं हो सकते but subconsciously because of maybe कहीं ना कहीं Scholes was not played to his best ability because a lot of times Scholes and Gerrard played wide because of Lampard being the best at that time, those 2 years, if you remember, right? And no one can deny in the Sven Goran Eriksson era, those 3 years, Lampard was the best midfielder in the world, you know, only for those 3 years. No one can deny that, okay? So, इसलिए Lampard was the main guy, and it was Scholes and Gerrard. Scholes sometimes playing left, Gerrard playing right. वो भी हुआ था. Do you think subconsciously that is there in his mind? That is why he sees that way. I don't know.
I am going to just I have a really strange feeling it has something to do with he's a local lad. I can't really figure out where this topic came even from because I really do my best to avoid pundit talks because they just unfortunately disappoint me a lot of the time and I don't like to look at them in that view. In fact, so funny enough, we are talking about Frank Lampard. I actually think Frank Lampard is a better pundit than he's a coach. No offense to anyone who
Actually,
makes.
I agree. I agree totally.
I thought he was level-headed. I thought
Because he speaks very well as well.
he's
That
very
also
well
matters.
eloquent with his words, and the great thing about playing when he played is he's not afraid to say what should be said because he's done what he said. Whereas you get people like you get that clown from Tottenham. You know that old I forgot his name. I forgot his name. There was some like ex Tottenham players. You're sitting there and you're like listening to them talk, and I'm like, bro, you haven't done O'Hara. Thank you, Jamie
O'Hara,
O'Hara.
Jamie O'Hara. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like
yeah.
listening to Jamie O'Hara. I'm like,
He
bro,
played for
like
Pompey
I
as well,
don't
if I
even know
remember
how
right.
many Tottenham fans remember you at this point of time because of all the new fans. But I'm like sitting there listening to you talk about people who are way better than you is really weird. It's just a very weird feeling for me. It's like I don't know. Uh, I mean, I know it has to do with technical and stuff and all, but I just find it weird. I thought Lampard did a fantastic job as well.
बिल्कुल भाई शाउट आउट यहाँ पर CIC यू नो डेफिनेटली को बिग अप है यार ऑफ कोर्स विल कम टू चेल्सी एंड अदर गेम्स एज वेल फॉर श्योर बिकॉज वहां पर अलग ही रैंट मोड चल रही है मेरी तो मतलब देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बट अगेन आई थिंक देयर आर डिफरेंट प्लेयर्स सिंपल एज दैट मूविंग ऑन मतलब in terms of what I am saying, what happened in the game and generally what happened, I know यहाँ पर Chelsea fans and opposition fans are putting back to Neville saying that भाई आपने बोला था billion bottle jobs etc. In the game, let's talk about the game now. मैंने already briefly बोला ये even the watch along. I think probably you'll agree.
He said it. He
But
said it for the Carabao Cup final, right? That's when he
yes,
said it,
yes,
right?
and he has gone back, kind of correcting that, but not totally. But at the
Yeah,
end of the day,
I saw that Stick to Football podcast. He's like he
correct.
didn't really recant the statement, but he
Yeah, मतलब a bit of both. It is kind
basically
of
righty Kino and Carragher actually agrees with him. Righty and Kino called him out really means for an explanation. And I was listening to it. I mean, I get what he's saying, but I also understand that you could have said it better. Like, I mean, I don't. You. It's one of those things where you can always say something better.
correct. No, I'm
You
not
know what
even
I mean?
asking for your views on that. What I'm saying is I'm putting
Hmm.
the stat here. Again, मतलब I know it's been a while, लेकिन
Oh boy,
even
here
in
we
this
go.
season,
Money stat.
Manchester नहीं मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड themselves have मतलब invested a lot. I know there are injuries, of course मैनचेस्टर में सबसे ज्यादा है, लेकिन I know, yeah, I'll put up the stat about the substitutions yesterday as well, but generally मतलब where do you think Manchester United actually lost the game, or you have to just give it to City that they were the better team? Absolutely.
Okay, first of all, not that this could have changed the outcome in the end, but that one-on-one which Rashford fumbled and that cross that Bruno put in the back post and Rashford completely missed it. Not saying those could be goals. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying we didn't get an opportunity to see where it went because the chances didn't happen. For people who said Bruno had a bad game, people forget those two opportunities plus the first ball which he laid off. He shielded the ball from Ruben Diaz, who I was actually surprised he was faster than personally, but it actually worked a few times when Onana was finding him. Turned him around, laid off the ball. Shot is the shot. He had two chances after that. I think we could have easily been 3-0 up. Or like humbly, I'm not listen, I'm not I will
You
get to the
missed
second
chances
half
नहीं
of
I
the
agree,
answer.
totally
I'm
I
talking
agree,
about the
totally.
first half only at this point.
बिल्कुल
Second
बिल्कुल
half,
you're right.
second half, I don't know. We looked lost from the beginning. I was like, you know what? Give it 10 minutes. They probably are in
But why
shock
is
themselves.
Ten Hag saying that the gap is not too big? Matlab, this guy
Yeah.
speaks something else, bro.
I will absolutely get to statements. Don't worry. I'm just putting the game away so then I can like answer everyone's questions if they have any. Then 55 minutes. I mean, listen, that I'm not going to really complain much about that goal. That goal is the goal.
Oh
It
wow,
was a
that was
beautiful goal.
something else.
What I will say though is back to the refereeing. It's horrible this season.
You would
That
have given a
foul.
foul?
Yeah, see, people in the chat, I was doing the watch along, right? People were like, it was soft. I'm like, since when do we not give soft fouls now? Like, what's happening? People are getting yellow cards for saying anything to the referee. You're going to
Nathan,
talk about a
if I
soft
speak,
foul.
no, I'll
That's
be in
weird.
trouble. The fact is,
No, I
again,
mean,
Man City, you know what? Let me tell this thing. People in the chat, bhai, sab log, I know Man City fans. Again, respect to you, respect for the way that you've, built the club in terms of, how you have achieved success. ठीक है वो भी डिबेटेबल है बट हैविंग सेड दैट यू हैव गॉट दैट राइट लेकिन यहाँ पर ये है कि वही सेम चीज है ना आई कैन बेट माई डॉलर ऑन दैट बेट माई रुपी ऑन दैट कि अगर वही सेम चीज होता अगेंस्ट अ सिटी प्लेयर ट्रस्ट मी दैट वुड हैव बीन अ फ्री किक आई नो दैट आई जस्ट नो दैट वो मैं ऐसे नहीं बोल रहा हूँ सिटी की गलती है आई एम नॉट सेइंग इट्स फिक्स्ड
next game week we are going to see the similar foul happen, Ankit, and it's going to be stopped. Let's not make it a City thing. I am talking about a referee thing.
It's a referee thing, exactly.
That foul is going to be given next week. Mark my words. On to which the next foul I was going to talk about. The double leg tackle which Edison won. Anywhere on that field, someone gets a yellow card even after winning the ball. Scissoring tackle, yellow card even if you win the tackle. Everywhere on the field, I've seen people get yellow cards this season. This season, again, I'm not making it a City thing. It's not the City person's fault if you don't get booked.
Referee ka bar is not consistent.
It's a referee. Listen, they got away with it. Listen, if you don't, there's a funny saying, right? If you don't cheat, you're not trying. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. It's not saying it's a cheat, but anywhere on the field, someone gets a yellow card or a foul. We got neither. Fair enough. The first goal is a goal, by the way. Absolute banger by Phil Foden. Hats off to him. Beautiful goal. Second goal, Onana could have done better. It went under his fingers. But Onana had a really good game. I'm not going to cook him. Devesh is here. I think Devesh thinks I was going to, maybe thought I was going to definitely cook Onana. Not today. No chance. Not today. The third goal, Amrabat's absolutely horrible. Simple as that. My problem is only from 80 minutes to 90 minutes. This is how I sum my issue with the game. 80 minutes to 90 minutes when we were trailing, we went backwards. Yeah, I mean, he came on for like 5 minutes. That 3.7 makes sense, really. Couldn't do anything. That was a clear mistake on his behalf. 80 minutes to 90 minutes, we did nothing. We're already losing. How many more goals can they score in the last 10 minutes? Go for it. Here we played Liverpool. When we were 3-0 down at Anfield, we wanted to play attacking football, lost 7-0. 1 down with 10 minutes to go, you can do something. I'm not, again, to the Man City, Parveen, to whoever else who thinks I'm trying to take a shot at City. I have blamed the referee. I'm just saying next week we are going to see the same 2 fouls and the fouls be given. Mark my words. It will happen in some game or the other. Okay? Leave that aside. We could have attacked more. We made stupid substitutes, which I believe you're going to get to with your own question. We made stupid substitutes. And we basically, for lack of a better words, the last 10 minutes we were cowards. That's the best way to explain it. To sum it up simply.
Again, Haaland, मतलब यहाँ पर जो लोग
Thank you, Jayesh. I do point that out literally on a weekly basis. I literally point that out on a weekly basis.
Absolutely. Or you're basically inviting trouble. Simple as that. You're inviting.
It's not that. It's a very simple rule. Actually, no, Ankit, let me ask you this. Again, not taking anything away from Onana last week. I mean, yesterday. My thing is, if you want to play from the back, you have 10 outfield players, you got 1 goalkeeper. You don't sub out your golden glove goalkeeper first. You remove the outfield players, so there are more people to play your ball. You get in the goalkeeper and play from the back. He launches it, someone touches it, passes it, loses the ball instantly. 3 touches and they lose the ball. What is the point of playing from the back? If you're going to lose the ball in within 2 or 3 actions, the play gets stopped. Instead of bringing in ball playing players, you went the other way. There are more people out of the penalty box than there are inside. It's just simple maths. I'm not taking a shot at Onana. Listen, we are out of the Champions League because of him. No matter what anyone says. That is the truth. But I'm not taking a shot on him. He played fantastically well yesterday. I'm just saying, when I see them pass out from the back every time, I'm like, these people do not play this football. What are we doing here? Casemiro didn't play it in an elite Madrid squad. Rafael Varane is good with the ball, but that doesn't mean he plays that football. Okay, you have to go with what you got. Fair enough. Change it, na. When before Eric Ten Hag came, no, I was seeing all this T4 IRL videos. You know me, I don't care about tactics. I care about winning. These tactics and all, this is not how I was raised. We only cared about winning.
Right.
1-0, 3-0, 4-0. I only care about winning. A beautiful football happens, well and good, great. I'm watching these videos. Oh, how we use 36-year-old Dusan Tadic from left wing to center forward. I'm like, wow, we're going to cook. This bugger's like Geppetto. He's going to like do 10 people's puppets like with his fingers. And then I go there and I'm seeing he's playing like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm like, what the hell? We kicked out our legend for this bullshit. I'm like, we basically shat on our own legend, who's actually more successful than Eric Ten Hag at the City ground, to play worse football than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And the quote is, he doesn't have his players. I'm like, okay, cool. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't have his players. He didn't have all. Mourinho didn't have all his players. He had Moises and Van Gaal's players. Like, everyone has got everybody else's players. You can't go, oh, Eric Ten Hag doesn't have his players. He still has players who played under Mourinho. I'm like, okay, cool. But everyone else did too. Like, what is this? What are we giving high five to everyone because
By the way,
everyone is
talk about goalkeepers. I
opposite?
thought Onana को बहुत credit मिलना चाहिए पहला goal के लिए for a
Absolutely,
change.
it's a great game, but I'm just saying, like, just from a common sense point of view, you can't have a ball playing goalkeeper and then everyone in front of you doesn't play the ball.
Exactly.
I don't
Hit the nail on the head. Absolutely.
Let me tell you
Agreed.
something, right? I have no doubt that there are people on this platform right now listening to me that have better ball knowledge than me, better tactical knowledge. I don't give a shit. 3 points is all I care about. That's how I was raised to watch football. Tactics is a very new thing, which is fantastic. And the people who have the acumen for it, I love listening to it. I personally love listening to it. However, common sense is also a requirement in football. I'll give you a really good example. Forget our game. Nottingham Forest, all Callum Hudson-Odoi had to do was clear the ball. The game would have been over. 98 minutes. Game's over.
You know what? Let's shift to that game.
And then that happens, and then you know what happens. But I'm just saying, common sense.
No, let's talk about it, Nathan. Let's talk about it, guys. Again, आधी घंटा हो गया. We have to talk about other games as well, and in the end we'll make a team and flop of the week. लेकिन यहाँ पर सब लोग लिवरपूल में आते हैं, and of course we'll come to Chelsea. I know a lot of मैं स्टार करके रखा हूँ कुछ questions, absolutely. लेकिन when you talk about Liverpool, of course, मतलब again the mentality is there right up there by with the kids. Yes, not everyone, at least 3-4 kids on average they're playing per week for the last 1 month almost. And big up to Klopp, और वो एक man manager है, inspirational figure है, along with throughout the club. जैसे नेथन बोल रहा था, if you have your goalkeeper playing one way, your defender should play that way. So Liverpool have recruited, as well as even in the junior teams they have done that way, or praise for that, absolutely. Lekin it's I don't know, matlab, going back, a lot of Liverpool fans, anyone in the chat, please feel free to comment. Definitely you were robbed against Tottenham. No one is denying that. Liverpool were robbed against Tottenham, no one is denying. But in my personal humble opinion, again, Liverpool ki galti nahi hai. It was no Liverpool players' fault, not Klopp's fault, not Liverpool as a club ka fault. Lekin technically, even the referees who are not refereeing the game have told that goal shouldn't have stood. Again, as much as they deserve their luck, Liverpool, the Nottingham Forest deserve not having that luck, because for me there were two things. First of all, Nottingham Forest had the ball, ठीक है, जब वो गेम को रोका गया था, और उस समय there are claims of about Konate, even I don't know, मतलब that is debatable, risking injury, and that is why it was done. और फिर when you're starting the game again, and because it was outside the D, for people who do not know, newer watchers of football, आपको जिसके पास पोजीशन है उसको देना पड़ता है रेफरी. तो रेफरी restarted the game from the wrong point. Of course, they should have done better with the header of Nunes. Absolutely, that is Nottingham Forest. But again, do you think that going back that Tottenham game, ठीक है, जो हुआ था publicly, everyone knew, plus obviously the Klopp factor. I'm not saying he fixed 10, they're trying for it, as much as half of media is red, and more than half, in fact. I know I'll get a lot of hate for saying that count, but it's a fact, and facts में deny नहीं कर सकता. Do you think subconsciously सबकॉन्शियसली एक होता है ना सॉफ्ट कॉर्नर चीज भाई कम ऑन लिवरपूल द प्लेइंग विद किड्स कम ऑन मैन एक होता है एंड दे अगेन द गोल वाज स्कोर्ड इन द 99th minute of a 98 minute game. I don't know what is your point. It's a controversial thing, but I would like to hear your point of view, frankly. Again, it's just your point of view.
I mean, I think there's something to it. I think there's something to it. But then again, you can't really say that because the way refereeing is this season has just been so horrible. I mean, I've never heard the PGMOL been called into question in my lifetime the way it has was called into question in the first 4 months.
That's what I'm saying.
Like it's
Well,
not
there
even
were
a
a lot of
year's not
games when
even up,
Manchester
and
United
it's
and
still
Chelsea
getting
also had
worse.
question marks. Just so you know,
And
not
here's the
this
thing:
is
there were
example.
which game was it, Ankit, where one of the referees go, "Oh, he's my mate, so I didn't want to like call him up on the wrong call." Remember, one of the
हाँ वो
referees said
स्पर्स
that
का
to
था
the VAR.
शायद कोई तो सीजन में I remember
I was
that.
like, wait a minute. This is the French society. Should we start getting Spanish refs to do our thing and then like English refs go do their thing there? Because it's like, what's going on here? I this is not the Friends business. This is the sports business. Like, I was really confused.
Again, मतलब
Can
I'm
I
not
just
trying to
answer
say
someone
Darwin.
here? Can I just answer someone here? So SS said,
Please.
Postnat Nathan, ये कैसा statement है? Only care about 3 points. I'll explain that. SS. जाके cricket watch. I can only watch one day cricket. Dude. I don't have that much time on my life. But to answer your question, it's very simple. If you watch how our team plays, you can only care about the 3 points. And you can ask any United fan if the current season, you can ask any United fan if they wouldn't just take 3 points no matter what.
मतलब
Ask them.
that
Don't
takes
take
a
my word for it.
preference over the way you play is what I
Yeah,
understand.
because
Again,
listen, I have seen my beautiful level of football, and then I've not seen it. So at some point of time, you either get 3 points, or you look at each other and go, "What's happening to my club?" I would prefer taking the 3 points. So yes, it does not matter to me at this point of time because SS, if you're watching us play football matches, a lot of Manchester United fans will say the same thing because they know beautiful football can't come off of what we are
I agree
currently
with
playing.
Nathan. I'm on the same boat. Nathan, we are sitting together by the way. अच्छा ये again
Listen,
I'm
it
not trying to
wasn't too long
generalize.
ago. Liverpool didn't have a
Nathan,
style of play. Too.
okay, let
People
me
don't.
add to what you said because I also have a quick point वहां पर. We will not delve into it because again we have to discuss a lot of things, guys. मैं इतना ही बोलूंगा देखो if you are questioning that, do you think Jose Mourinho is a fool? I'm not saying Jose Mourinho is the best manager in the world ever existed. No, but he's one of the GOAT managers in top 10 of all time in club football for me. That's how good he is for me because he has won, and for me that matters. Or if you go ask Jose Mourinho, he'll tell the same thing, of course. And people जो हम Lampard के बारे बोलते हैं, people have a very wrong mentality about Joe Mourinho that he only plays boring football. No, there are a lot of times that he plays great football, but his priority is winning. So it's all about priority and again the way that you see football. ऐसा नहीं कि आप जैसे देखते हो बुरा है, जैसे नेथन देखता है, जैसे मैं देखता हूँ बुरा है. But like he said, because there's a certain maybe period of time, maybe under Sir Alex and Sir Jose, that was prioritized. Why do you think Sir Alex praises Jose so much? I'm just saying, because that kind of takes precedence over the way you play football. But again, it's from the school of football that you're coming from, so that's totally fine. Again,
I think me and Ankit, sorry to cut you off, Ankit, but I believe you and me both like Klopp over Pep. So I think we both like Klopp's football. But I will just only say this, SS, before Klopp.
Anyway, that is
wasn't looking so good.
Again,
No, I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to make fun of Liverpool. I always have respect for Liverpool as a club, always, whether they were shit or whether they were not. That's how we
of
were
course, one
supposed
of the
to
most
deal with
successful
it as
clubs
a
in England
United
generally
club. Whether they were
in
there,
long time.
we have gone to their ground when they were horrible and they have beaten us, and they have come to our ground when we were horrible and we have beaten them. It doesn't matter. It's an equalizer, the Northwest Derby. It really is, or it used to be, I should say. That's a better way of putting it. But the brand of
But
football
anyway,
wasn't always great either.
अब ये तो it's all about viewpoints यार. मतलब भाई thanks for the couple of Liverpool fans putting out their point because I wanted that. It's a fact. Yes, मैंने पूरा मैच देखा नहीं था absolutely because उस समय obviously people know that Chelsea का मैच चल रहा था, वहां पर मैं रो रहा था, अलग ही चल रहा था. But again, I did watch back the entire stoppage time just so you know totally, and of course you're totally right. The rule says that that's a minimum of stoppage time that a referee is supposed to add, and of course if there's further stoppages he can add. So time mein koi nahi bol raha. I'm just saying subconscious thing that because of the fact that they got a major decision wrong against Liverpool and the fact that it's Klopp's last year and the fact that Man City are going to win the fourth time, and it's जैसे हम बोल रहे थे Real Madrid का क्यों rigged था, मतलब we thought it's rigged. Saturday जो हुआ था, I don't know Nathan if you saw that Brahim Diaz
I didn't see the game live. I didn't see the game
Rubbish,
live,
man.
but I was
Total rubbish.
actually I was like, I thought the Prem refs were horrible. Like
But
I
I'm happy
genuinely
for
went
La
out with
Liga fight because for me that makes interesting for the
close.
neutral.
Yeah,
Correct?
of course.
Lekin the decision was wrong. So I thought that they were trying to make it interesting. Just to some extent, last year we were talking that bhai वापस से Bayern Munich जीत गई. Let's make Bundesliga interesting. What can Bundesliga do? I remember doing an entire stream on that. We
Yeah, of
discussed on how
course.
Bundesliga. So I thought maybe because of that, subconsciously, Premier League may, I don't know whether it's been in between the lines they've been told, or maybe they've, just the fact that because it's lost last year, I don't know. But Liverpool deserve where they are. Having said that, Abhi,
Absolutely.
as things stand, Manchester United, I don't see getting to UCL. It'll be like the best case scenario in fifth, I would say. Nathan, correct?
Well, based on Eric Ten Hag, who apparently is the mathematician on an Aryabhatta like level, fifth is all we need. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll get fifth. I
आज
don't know.
यूसीएल का नया
But
फॉर्मेट आया है वैसे, बट अगेन इट डिपेंड्स ऑन हाउ, एंड दैट्स द आयरनी. Nathan will be cheering for Man City and Arsenal in the Champions League
oh
because
God,
of Man
yeah.
City
I'm
and
watching the
Manchester United.
Arsenal Porto game. I'm watching the Arsenal game of all teams, and I'm like, oh God, what has my life come to? I was like, in my head, I was thinking to myself, oh
हमारे पास
no.
तो वो भी नहीं नेथन, वी हैव नथिंग मैन. चेल्सी फैंस आर टोटली रूइंड. बट अगेन लेट्स मूव टू चेल्सी. आई नो बहुत सारा हो गया मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड लिवरपूल का. चेल्सी के गेम, आई डोंट नो नेथन इफ यू सॉ द एंटायर गेम, ब्रेंटफोर्ड वर्सेस चेल्सी, बाय एनी चांस डिड
No,
यू?
I didn't. So what happened is I was doing the Liverpool watch along, funny enough, because I
Oh,
thought
okay,
it would be
okay.
an interesting. I want to basically what I want to do is I'm trying to cover Klopp's game because I want to see the farewell. I want to see the atmosphere every game creates as he winds down his tenure. So what happened? There was like 6 games at 6:30. So I was like, I'll do the Liverpool game because for me, I just wanted to see what it was like. So that's what.
Yeah.
But I didn't
अच्छा,
see
by the way,
it,
Laughter
but
Club,
people were
if I
updating.
can put a quick disclaimer, Nathan. To be honest, don't judge us, bro. Laughter Club, आप तो OG of the channel हो भाई, आप जानते हो. जब बारसा के अगेंस्ट भी डिसीजन जाते हैं तो हम बोलते हैं भाई, हम वही बोलते हैं. Referees in La Liga are also like that. So for me, I'm not saying कि they are rigged for Real Madrid or rigged for Barcelona. What I'm saying that La Liga referees are corrupt. That is what my point is. There's a difference
Yeah,
between the
I,
two
I, I
statements.
actually agree with that. That is better.
Please, Nathan, continue. I stopped you. Sorry.
No, I was just saying I want to see that atmosphere created. But people were giving me live updates because there were 6 games going on and Aston Villa are playing and it affects us and this and that. And everyone that affects us was playing basically at the same time.
Hmm.
So people were giving me updates now, and I was like, Chelsea's good. I was like, turn around. And then suddenly it was 1-1. I'm like, 1-1's okay. Then it was 2-1.
I'll show you guys the
Not
stat,
again.
and it was
Like
heartbreak
literally,
again, man.
literally at that point of time when they went Brentford 2-1, I'm like, no way. I was like, no way. I was like, I can't believe it.
अच्छा,
I
उस
was
समय ना
actually
Brentford fans were booing Brentford players, which was what turned them on. I don't know what happened. Like that was happened. This one, bhai, I don't know if people have seen this going around. This is basically the second half table of the Premier League. I don't know if you guys can see it. I try and maximize क्योंकि Chelsea बहुत नीचे है, इसलिए मैं maximize करूंगा तो चल जाएगा.
beautiful. 12th
17th,
place.
only second
Lovely.
half. Guys, matlab, Chelsea were known to be that team, by the way, just so you know, and Nathan knows exactly. Matlab, if Chelsea take a lead, gaya bas. No, people can, Nathan, what I'm talking about, right? That was what Chelsea a grit के लिए जानी जाती थी. That was the DNA of Chelsea. If Chelsea take a lead, teams are like, chalo, it's very difficult to come back, right? It has totally changed. And I'm not blaming only Poch. जैसे अक्षय बोल रहे हैं यहाँ पर chat में, I know that he's not the only one to be blamed, and I know Nathan, we had discussed this previously. I was never convinced when Poch was first linked and then appointed, but now again injuries Chelsea के भी काफी सारे हैं, and the amount of transfers we made, no one has made, so that is not easy for the manager to manage the changes, etc. as a club. And of course, recently we lost a final, so maybe young players it affects and all that rubbish you can speak, but of course, that halftime team talk is the reason, guys. Why are we doing so badly in second half? Nahi? Or is it just not fit
I
players?
mean,
I don't know.
do you think it's a possibility of Chelsea just gassing out for some reason? Possibility? I don't know. Like
हाँ, क्योंकि we have literally three midfielders who are literally playing every second
same,
of
same players are playing again
all
and
the
again.
time.
And yeah, I mean,
Maybe, but again, it's not like कि हमने चैंपियंस लीग फुटबॉल खेला, हमने बहुत सारा फुटबॉल खेला. I understand the last 2 weeks. चलो, we played a cup final and then we had a midweek game against Leeds and again this. So literally, भाई हम 7 दिन में we were playing like 300 minutes, which is quite a bit. I get that, but you cannot just judge on 1 or 2 weeks, right? As in, I'm asking you as a
Of course.
neutral, like, what do you think the entire thing? Of course, यहाँ पर पहुंच इनका भी मैं थोड़ा सा 1% debate है. That's all I can try and say. But
Yeah, I was very relieved we didn't get Poch because like Neville and Keane and all were like, let's get Poch. I'm like, listen, dude, you won a Coupe de France in a league nobody cares about, respectfully. But let's all not pretend like we care about the French league. That's all I'm going to say. Please, let's not start doing that. Won the Coupe de France, which Tuchel I think took them to the final anyway. Like he literally played one game in that cup. That whatever cup he won, like in the first 2 weeks of being there,
मतलब he
he
was
was
never a
brought to the
winner. We
final
all
and
know
said,
that. हाँ, वो
no,
तो
no,
है ही.
I'm just saying it's the hype that was like, oh, he's the next United man. I'm like, dude, Mourinho can't control these people. You think Poch can? I was like, really? In my head, I was thinking these people are just crazy. They just want all the ex-PL managers to like get another job again and again because they are familiar with only those managers. They're not
But that is
familiar
the
with the
thing,
Ralph
ना,
Ragnick.
क्योंकि when we tried
But they're
Potter,
not
it did
familiar
not
with the
work out,
Ralph
है ना?
Ragnick, Ankit, because you saw how they acted with Ralph Ragnick. Yet Hasenhuttl, Tuchel, Klopp, Nagelsmann, Marsh, all these people use the same philosophy as much as they could when they were managing their clubs. He's the godfather of the Gegenpress. He comes to England, everyone's like, who is this guy? Yeah, he's like a top management guy. He's never coached in 10 years. I'm like, that's because he wants to do more things. He's multi-talented. It's like Frank Lampard could have retired and hung out in the farms. He wanted to be a pundit and then he wanted to be a coach. He wants to be multi-talented in football. He wants to keep giving back. But the pundits were like, man, he's not had a job in 10 years. I'm like, but that doesn't mean he's not a coach. Like, are you not a
नहीं,
player
लेकिन
because you retired? And did you
coming
not
back to the game, Nathan, I'll just kind of bring it back to the match what we're discussing, and generally where Chelsea are. Of course, बहुत सारे excuses आ रहे हैं. मतलब I'll put some quotes and it comes across as just like how Potter was giving excuses. But at the end of the day, bhai, he's saying certain things to the fans. But before that, even the pick, like if you are Chelsea, you are playing against Brentford, who are also missing a lot of players, mind you, okay? Or you are kind of going away when you're 11th in the table. And then you say that you're playing an extra defender because your midfielders have literally played the entire calendar year up until now, every second of every game, right? Which is logically understandable, okay? लेकिन the moment you kind of आप एक गोल खाते हो in the second half, मतलब is that reason enough not for Poch to make some change right then, right there? Because he's saying midfielders nahi, etc. Why did you get a Casadei? मतलब I'm not saying Casadei को शुरू करना चाहिए था. I firstly question कि why didn't he start an extra attacking midfielder like a Modric, who he had a decent game, not a great game in the previous game, so at least start him or get Casadei as a substitute. मतलब do you think tactically also, मतलब this is not the Poch even that we saw at Tottenham? Is he hesitating because the
No.
job is too big to him?
I think there's something to the fact that the job's too big for him. I think when you coach PSG, you have a lot of things are in your control basically based on just simply of the quality of the players. Another thing I was thinking about is like you loaned David Datro Fofana out. He literally goes to Burnley and he starts scoring goals, and I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. I thought he was too young and immature to score goals in the Premier League. I was just thinking in my head because
Very
you know
good
how we
point.
had this
Very
discussion?
good point.
I had this discussion with you. I was like, where is Borja? I don't know how you say his name. Like, why is he not playing? And everyone, Broha, sorry. And everyone was like, he's too young. I'm like, hold on a minute, man. We have a 20-year-old striker up front from Italy playing for us. There's like a bunch of other youngsters playing everywhere, and they seem to be doing all right. Like, just back him. You don't have players to be picky, and those players are giving outputs to other teams that could greatly benefit your own team at the moment because of how much you're struggling. And I'm thinking, bro, is sitting in Fulham. He's like, I'm just cashing a check. Yeah, I don't know what this guy's going to do. He's probably going to get sacked by June. I'll get another
Nathan, तीन
opportunity.
जन है. You said that Datro Fofana, Broha, and David Washington. I know he's very young. लेकिन to have David Washington develop by playing those development games one day before every match day when we are in desperate times. This is literally desperate times, guys. मतलब तीन जन जो could have been on the bench and could have an impact. So you are not ready to play Nicholas Jackson. I still think is better off as a second striker than a pure number 9, and he's a good player, mind you, in terms of gameplay. Lekin he's not a finisher, so he's more like a
Not a
second
fan.
striker or maybe coming off the left hand side. Early Dembaba days ka yaad dilata hai, people who know when Dembaba was at Newcastle, those kind of days he reminds me. So for me,
Papa
that
Sisi.
is what. correct? तो वहां पर आप यू आर मोर डेस्परेट फॉर अ स्ट्राइकर एंड अगेन यू हैव सो मेनी मिडफील्डर्स प्लेइंग. आप कैसेडे को लाओ, ही इज कप टाइड, कप में एनीवे यू आर नॉट एबल टू प्ले हिम in such a desperate times also not playing. So definitely people saying Poch out, and I know his interviews also not helped recently, but I totally get that, I totally relate. Lekin Nathan, putting the larger picture, if you're a Chelsea fan, in case just put your self in our shoes. We have seen this movie earlier. मैंने आज tweet भी किया था वो कि we have seen this earlier. I know a club legend like Lampard came, and Lampard is not the best tactical person or anywhere close, right? लेकिन even a Lampard could not get the extra intensity from the players जो हमें चाहिए था for that Real Madrid match. You know, that is why he came. Let's be real. और अभी I was saying, Nathan, I remember discussing with you also before the January window started that I am still not Poch in, right? Because I am not convinced. उस समय मैंने बोला था, रिमेंबर वी लॉस्ट टू बैक मैचेस एवर्टन और मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड, करेक्ट? दैट वाज वन पॉइंट. देन देयर वाज अ पॉइंट ऑफ ठीक है, मैं बोला चलो ठीक है दिसंबर तक टाइम देते हैं. दिसंबर वी लॉस्ट टू वुल्व्स, ठीक है, वी लॉस्ट आवर 10th प्लेस पोजीशन आल्सो, वी लॉस्ट टू वुल्व्स, एंड देन वी लॉस्ट द फर्स्ट लेग अगेंस्ट मिडलसब्रा. इट वाज जनवरी 10th. अगर करना ही था दैट, मतलब आई नो इट डजंट हेल्प अगेन एंड अगेन चॉपिंग चेंजिंग, लेकिन मुझे क्लियरली दिख रहा था दैट ही इज नॉट हैविंग दैट मेंटालिटी व्हाट वी नीड एट दिस पॉइंट इन टाइम एंड फॉर द लॉन्ग रन. करना ही था तो उस समय करना था. चेल्सी फैन बेस लिटरली एवरीवन इज सेइंग पॉच आउट राइट नाउ. अभी करेंगे तो भाई you think it's worth right now? मतलब we are on 4th of March. What do you think is going to happen in the March break? What will help? FA Cup जीत जाएंगे really? You think so, guys?
You got to play Leicester, right? Leicester is doing really well in the championship.
Yeah,
they have a bunch of Premier League level players in their team,
yeah,
and they have a bunch of Premier League level players in their team. That's the real frightening part. Like, they are not a championship team like a Luton. They actually have Premier League players in their team. Sacking him makes no sense because you just put the next coach in a handicap. Potter already was in a handicap. I guess the real truth is Tuchel probably shouldn't have been sacked. I know some people don't want to hear that, but I think it's starting to.
It wasn't the best, but it was far better.
No, yeah, I'd sum it up actually in a better way. I feel like that created the actual domino effect to this actual problem that existed. I think this is the real first domino that becomes a pile of crap, basically. Because I heard Potter go process 4 months. I was listening to Rantman scream process for 4 months, and I was thinking to myself, I don't know what process this is, but no one seems to be happy about the process. And I was thinking about it. I was like, but then you throw Potter into the deep end because Bowley gets like trigger fingers and he like basically offs Tuchel, and then it just starts the mountain of disaster. And I know you can't go that far back in time because these players should do better. There's no doubt about it. Listen, these players in this team, they shouldn't be 12. Now, should they be first? You can debate that amongst yourselves. They shouldn't be 12th or whatever. I can tell you that much comfortably. Like, easily, they shouldn't be 12. But they are. That's the sad part, and you have to be
pains, yeah. It pains.
When Poch goes, you put the statement up there. No, if they're not happy, they will boo. I can't do it. I'm doing my best. I'm like, you're clearly not doing your best, because if you were doing your best, you had a subpar Tottenham, and I mean subpar in the sense of apart from your elite talent, you had to like shoehorn other people in to rise them up to the level in which that prime Tottenham Hotspurs played. Like, some of them weren't of that level, in my opinion. We commended you because you got them to that level.
Correct. This
is my opinion. Swap is here in the chat. He's a big Spurs fan.
This is my opinion. I totally agree with you. If I have to
I'm like, okay, so you see Enzo. It's probably a bad example. You see Conor Gallagher, everyone goes.
Enzo is probably right. Let's start from there, because Enzo,
but the thing is, there was that hype. There was that World Cup hype. So I don't want to include him in it, because that's like a pressure of its own.
Nathan, let me. Okay, guys, you guys know, everyone in the chat, OGs of the channel, we cover a lot of UCL as well. I know it was just one season, but he was balling even for Benfica, bro. He was balling for Benfica as well as basically for Argentina. And even before that, I'm not trying to say that I see the Argentinian league. No, but what I've heard of from people who actually have seen that week in, week out, have actually seconded that Enzo has been balling for the last couple of years, right? And what I'm saying is, yes, he's tired. I get that, or it's a new league and a new country, but to not improve rather than, He's gone back Enzo the way or the level that he plays. That is on Poch to some extent, right? Gallagher, again, he might be the only one. Probably you can argue that he's probably giving it all
Listen,
plus.
I believe you know this about me. I'm very high on Gallagher. I
Of
think
course, I am as
I
well.
believe I've
I
said it
agree.
on this channel here. I believe I've said it very clearly. I'm high on Gallagher.
Hmm.
I think he's had, you know what, in a season where the captains aren't necessarily stepping up, I actually think in a weird way Gallagher has, controversial as that might sound. I think a lot of the captains of the various clubs were not stepping up. My own as well. I'm not throwing other clubs. I'll speak for my own club here in this case.
Yeah,
I think Bruno
Chilwell is an
Fernandes is
example in
struggling.
last 2 weeks, by the way. With all due respect,
Sorry.
Chilwell is an example in the last 2 weeks as well.
Chilwell. I mean, Chilwell is like picking fights with kids. I'm like, listen, no wonder Southgate picked Shaw. Like, I don't know. What are you fighting with a child, dude? You're
See, that
literally
that
double
one
his
I
age. Like,
agree,
what are you
man, because
doing?
he got a
That's
rugby tackle,
bad.
bro. Nahi, that's
But,
human,
but,
यारो.
but
Rugby
I
tackle
know,
मिला
but
था
like
यार
you're,
literally उसको.
but he's still like fighting with a kid. Like I'm like, what are you gonna do, dude? You're gonna headbutt him. You're gonna call the principal on him. Like, what are you gonna do? You're going to resend his recess ticket. Like, what are you gonna do? Not give him lunch? Like, what, like come on, man. This is weird. And I was like, what is, everyone's just getting frustrated now with the game. I get it, but it was so weird, like watching a grown man like bully a child. It's so strange, but
But ठीक है
anyway, but
मतलब.
it is what it is. In the heat of the moment, obviously. But yeah, of course, he's a very good example. I think Gallagher, in many ways, has actually stepped up. Not to my shock, because I actually like him, but it was nice to see like that win against Leeds and stuff like that. The win against Palace. I was surprised he celebrated. That shocked me because he played for Crystal. I was very shocked. But then
But
again, it's the
ठीक
heat
है,
of the
but
moment.
he's literally a Chelsea kid, bro.
No,
Uh,
but you know what? It's the heat of the moment. Remember
हाँ,
when we did the watch along? You and me did the Crystal Palace watch along together. He
correct,
played
correct.
well. He was very respectful. And then, but it's the heat of the moment. You're getting so frustrated playing at Chelsea. You score the winner, you start celebrating. I was like, whoa, he's celebrating. You can just like feel the tension just go, over him. Like, with the fact that he's captain, the fact that he's come to Crystal Palace, the fact that they were losing. I was like, wow, yeah.
See,
Like you
this
can
is an
see the
example.
stress.
After all these months, मतलब Chelsea fans, we do watch along from a couple of years. Nathan, you know it. By OGs of the channel, know हमने as fans we have seen one problem. If you notice, any team in the entire world who has studied Chelsea in the last few years knows that there are two major issues in Chelsea. One, we are like one of the worst when it comes to finishing in front of goal. That's a no-brainer from the Lampard first stint. I would say we don't have that finisher proper, and Romelu Lukaku was supposed to be the guy. And let's not even go there. Second thing is, of course, about the set pieces. आप cross करो, inshallah करो, आप opposition fan हो, and we are doomed. Unless we have a Thiago Silva or a Badiashile playing, who, if they are not playing, we are totally doomed. और वो पता है हमें. And even in the weekend, आपने Malo Gusto, one of the signings of the season, and of course, people are getting hyped and saying he was better than Reece James. He might be, but come on, yeah, people
Oh
don't need to.
no, come on.
Exactly, I'm with
He,
Nathan. I'm with Nathan
He's
100%.
only he's only better than Reece James because Reece James doesn't play. That doesn't count for
करेक्ट
anything.
और लास्ट 1.5 साल का लोग देख रहे हैं ना 1.5 साल में तो ही वाज इंजर्ड ब्रो हाफ द टाइम लेकिन मेरा पॉइंट है इवन मालो कुछ तो मेड मिस्टेक पीपल डोंट रियलाइज आई वॉच बैक द मैच एंड एज मच एज हमने खुद गाली दिया था फॉर टू दिसासी ठीक है एंड बाय द वे ही एटलीस्ट केम बैक एंड स्कोर्ड द गोल चालोबा लिटरली स्टार्टेड द फर्स्ट प्रीमियर लीग गेम दिस सीजन इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग ठीक है तो इट विल बी हार्श ऑन हिम और to some extent Levi Colwill who's generally not a good header of the ball but my thing is why do we allow those crosses literally every watch along GK is here bhai everyone knows it why do we allow those crosses and finally we are looking at getting someone from Brentford half of Chelsea fan base is split they are saying bhai really Brentford guys Brentford is the best in set pieces
You can't do that. You can't do that. And we are not at that stage to do that anymore. I don't like it even when my own fans do that anymore. I can't deal with
exactly
that.
आप
I
generalize
can't.
क्यों करते हो
It's
यार
no.
totally
Even if he's not of the Chelsea level, at this point of time, Chelsea can't say that. Like they can't like with chest go. He's not Chelsea's level. You can't do that. You
after Anthony
cannot.
Barry we have become worse in set pieces yaar
Look
it's
at
a
this.
fact
You got Ramsey, right? You sacked Ramsey. We got Ramsey. Now Ramsey's in Minnesota. Look, we are also conceding goals from set pieces all the time. We
सच
got
बोला
your guy. Your guy has gone to America to be a head coach. I'm like, how is he a head coach? He can't even help us block set pieces. We bought him for that. And then we shipped him off 18 months later. Like, and he's getting a head. It just shows you how bad the MLS is, by the way. Just on the record, this guy is a set piece coach. He's getting a promotion in America. I don't like football is so confusing to me sometimes. Yeah. It's insane.
Nathan, you spoke about Conor Gallagher, right? I don't know if it's still
Big
exists.
fan. Big fan.
Look at this stat, guys. Big
But
five
that's
leagues in
not
Europe.
surprising to me, right? They call him Galadog, right? That's not surprising to me at all, really. Personally.
Again, he got a lot.
Bruno's there. That's nice.
And you know what? And as much as I know that he should have finished his chances in the cup final, similar to Mason Mount, I totally get it. But bhai, it's one thing doing, and that's what these people have to learn. You kind of chop and change even in managers or players even more again and again, which we made a mistake by changing everyone. फिर आपको जो mistakes किया, how will you actually remember that and एक extra pinch कब लगेगा भाई? You might be more ready and more intentful in the next game that you play in such a final. And doing it against Leeds is one thing, doing it against Palace is one thing in a normal league or a cup match going into the final, and doing in a final is different, right? And that's something that he has to learn. No one is saying Conor Gallagher best in the world there, but for us, our Chelsea fans are literally, भाई again, मेरी खुद की fan base है, मैं थोड़ा बहुत neutral perspective चाहता हूँ नेथन का, because honestly, मतलब हमारी fan base, guys we are so shameless, and I'm not going to generalize. Half of us, not everyone, half of us are so shameless. हम यहाँ पर we are in bloody 11th in the table, the worst time as a Chelsea fan the last 2 years, and we are here. You know what we're sitting? We are sitting and doing on social media because we are jobless. I don't know what to say. Reece James or Gusto, bhai. Reece James can't tie Gusto's laces. To hell with your opinion like that, man. This is a time when you need unity, man. This is when the time. I'm not saying positive toxicity. You criticize, but don't do this. Gallagher is shit. Enzo is the guy. He should be playing in Gallagher's position. All those things, man. Come on. Come on, man.
Can I be honest with you though? I have been a little underwhelmed with Enzo. I'm not going to lie. That does not mean he's not going to be good at some point of time. No, but people are like going, oh, he was consistent. He's this, he's that. I'm like, listen, to me, I don't like putting money into it. But if you're going to put money onto it, if you're going to spend your money for it, whether you think it's not his fault or not, if you're going to take out money from your treasury to pay this person to come in here, you have a certain expectation irrespective of the price tag. The price just happens to be how much of an expectation you have from him, because apparently he's shown that. Now, for example, everyone goes, you spend 80 million on Anthony. I'm like, yeah, it was stupid. That's it. There is no more advanced explanation of that. Stupid is simple. So, Malo Gusto cannot... harsh because some Chelsea fans are just going to get mad at me for saying it, but I'll say it. He's not fit to clean Reece James' shoes. Maybe he's injured shoes.
No, he's great. I will not take that as well. He's actually very good.
Reece James has won Champions League. This guy is from the French
League.
Let's everyone I hear you. I get the point. Everyone settle down. I get flack for choosing Reece James over Trent. You think I'm going to choose him over Malo Gusto? I'm not going to, at least.
Ramit is hitting the nail on the head. By the way, मैंने Sterling का डाला था. देखो, जब Sterling पर आ रहा है ना, that I understand, because firstly he's an Englishman. He understands the history of Chelsea. He knows the DNA of Chelsea as an outsider. Plus the fact that भाई experienced बंदा है, you expect him better to stand up. He has to be work rate, correct?
Winner, senior player.
But we are not getting that.
He should be. Well, can I be honest with you? He never seemed like a leader to me to begin with.
Exactly.
Again, so for me, it's like, I'm like, there's a 40-year-old Brazilian guy at the back going, boha, boha. Like, there's people in the front there who played here for 10 years and they're not leaders. The 40-year-old at the guy that doesn't speak the language, he's like, can we get together? Can we get your act together? Like, he's like, can we do something here, or are we going to lose every day? We play a game. So, like, so many times I've seen on your chat, my chat, generally, Thiago Silva is literally the only player that stands out. But you notice one thing. No one ever says...
People are ready to get rid of him also, guys.
See, listen, he to be fair, he is aging. I hate using that excuse too.
But it's important to see the quality. Right?
You can clearly see the quality. Yeah, of course. He shouldn't have been playing every game of the season to begin with.
Of course, yes.
The fact that he is, by the way, pat on the back, knock on wood, long it may it continue, because he's keeping himself in that kind of shape. But in my opinion, You have no one says, oh, that's because he played with Beckham and Ronaldinho or he won in PSG. They're like, he's just a leader. It has nothing to do with where he came from. It's it's this. It has nothing to do with anything else. If a 40-year-old guy is trying to galvanize people half his age, which should have double the testosterone, should be hungry because they don't have enough titles to clean his boots. Seeing him sitting next to you, you should get hungry. No one's hungry. Well, Gallagher's hungry, but Gallagher looks like he doesn't eat food. He looks like he's hungry all the time, really. But
अभी एक
in
और
the
शुरू
sense
हो
of
भाई
playing
कुकुरिया.
football. But yeah,
He's Kukurea will come back, so let's see how, because Chilwell has had a bad couple of weeks, so
would
Kukurea
gladly
has
take
picked up
Nico Williams instead of Sulky Sterling. I'm like, listen, man, you can't, Ramit, you can't take his attitude into it because he's been sulking at City and he's been scoring goals. His attitude, though, is not a cop out. I'm refusing to let him cop out. He's a senior player, act like it. Or leave. Simple. As simple as
because
leave.
he's very high wages, bro. That's the only thing. Very high wages as well. It's just not that.
Definitely not sulky about that. He's
लेकिन
definitely not sulky
Thiago
about
Silva
that.
or Sterling going in the same window when we hardly have any experience, that for the squad generally आपके cup games में in England especially it matters in my opinion. But guys, good part, positive बात करते हैं. Offended Goblin is saying we should also focus on the positive. The positive is Man City have beaten everyone in all competitions in 2024 except one team, and you know which team is that. Come on, guys, come on.
I
Let's
would
have
love
a
to say
positive
that
fans.
is not very positive to other people, other teams, but okay.
That's not a trophy. I'm not celebrating the trophy before people clip me and say कि भाई ये Chelsea Man City के साथ 2 draw का कर लिए और trophy जैसे with all due respect few Arsenal fans used to do few years ago, if you know you know, ठीक है, वो हम नहीं कर रहे. लेकिन having said that, big up to Arsenal, big up to Man City. लेकिन the reality is that हम हारे नहीं है Man City के साथ. We are the only team in 2024 to basically do that against Man City.
We didn't lose at Anfield and a clean sheet. This is the levels, Ankit. This is the levels we have reached now. This is the celebrations we do now.
Hello, bye. Anyway, 1 hour into the stream, Nathan. Again, I'll continue for a few more minutes. Hopefully, you have time, right?
Yeah, no problem.
हमने मेजर मैचेस डिस्कस किए. Obviously, we have discussed. I started off with Nathan was not here for people who are just joining. भाई सब लोग like कर दीजिए और Nathan का चैनल को भी सब्सक्राइब करिए यार. Again, Naltra who knows his stuff absolutely in football as well as हम भी भाई as fans बात करते हैं. आपके भी comments ले रहे हैं. I've started a few comments by the way. We started off with Barca, then we went to the Manchester derby, then we came to the Liverpool game and of course the Chelsea game. Spurs का डिटेल में बात नहीं करेंगे. हम क्या करेंगे? We will try and make a quick team of the week. पहले सबसे पहले बोलो.
Can I ask you one question? Because I saw in the chat a lot of people saying Nico Williams. Is this a thing that's happening or is this like a
we are genuinely
like a fan thing?
So we are it's actually we are interested in this guy as a fact, Nico Williams. Or Nico Williams.
Inaki Williams' younger brother, right?
Correct. Or he played last time by the way against Barca. So he's actually good. He's a right footer who's not too bad on the left foot for a change for Chelsea especially वो चाहिए क्योंकि right footers मतलब Nicholas Jackson we know what happened. Even Gallagher misses a lot of left footers. तो वहाँ पर even Enzo. So he's one who's comfortable with both feet. लेकिन he plays primarily right foot who's a winger. Or for me, that will be the good jump for him because हमारे पास शायद यूरोप नहीं रहेगा, and that's a realist in me speaking. We will not have Europe next season yet again, as much as it pains me saying it, unless we win the FA Cup, of course. Phil, probably for him coming to Chelsea and probably getting those game times better, but again, I would still want some experience. Yeah, be it in the form of Thiago Silva. In the worst case, Sterling doesn't help. Yes, I know the wages don't help, but it is what it is. But going to the other games, quickly, भाई सब लोग बोलिए flop of the week कौन है भाई? Anthony and Amrabat बोल रहे Darwin. I don't know.
I mean, you can't call Anthony a flop, dude.
You can call even Poch or Tenaga a flop by the way if you want. Actually, flop of the week. मतलब I don't know. मतलब in a very strange way.
I have a good one. Oh no, it might be in the wrong channel. Callum Hudson-Odoi for not clearing the ball.
Fair enough. No, that's good observation actually. Brighton
or again, Avoni, whichever one. But Avoni actually lost the ball. You couldn't give Taiwo Avoni the ball. The flop of the week.
I think probably the chat ज़्यादा देख रहा हूँ Amrabat और Poch के बीच में जा रही है. Again, Lindelof is not a left back, but I know he shouldn't have shown his right side, which is Foden's left side. I get that totally. लेकिन हाँ कोई नहीं. I think Amrabat ही जीतने वाला है. Garnacho भाई यार, Garnacho flop.
No, he doesn't. Jais doesn't like Garnacho because of the Gavi celebration
And I know
in
that he
the
should have
Europa
done
League.
slightly better in that Edison wala chance.
Yeah,
Lekin
he was missing. He was missing. No excuse. He was missing.
referee, actually, this is the correct answer. सही आंसर जाता है जीके को.
But
लेकिन भाई
referee in which game? In the Liverpool game? In the derby match? Like which flop? Which referee?
referees in
That's
general, in leagues. Actually, flop of the week goes to Mbappe. Just saying. If you know, you know. Or maybe Tuchel for all you know. Sorry, Ben Tuchel, I love you, but you
Real,
never
Real
come back.
Madrid are really going to regret that decision. Mark my words.
Yeah.
Going
लेकिन
to regret it.
top player and manager, again हम top 11 करेंगे. Top player and manager for you, Nathan. Again, second half, Pep, the way he already came, you have to say, so somewhere down the line, he
No. Oh, sorry. Manager wedding for.
player भी बोलो
Oh,
साथ
do we
साथ में.
do we give it to Klopp because of the 99-minute madness? How
नहीं
do we
यार,
do
there तो
it?
referee है
It's
ना.
Pep or Klopp. It can't be anyone else this week. So
I think Foden as a player probably. You know what, Bernardo Silva was awesome in that game up until Foden's goal. By the way, I have to point out that he was simply awesome. Bernardo Silva's Doku. You know, no one said flop of the week. Doku, by the way, Doku had a poor game in my opinion.
that gritty merchant is not that good.
Again, मतलब वही है. If I speak, I'll be in trouble. Having said
I
that,
call him Gritty Merchant on my on the watch alongs. Everyone gets mad. I don't call him by his name. I just say Gritty Merchant every time he gets
yeah,
put
and
on.
the way that he's using Werner, no, I don't know. I know he scored one goal and he missed as well.
Hmm.
लेकिन for me, I didn't expect Werner to start जब Son वापस आ जाएगा. I thought Brennan Johnson probably deserves that. लेकिन Brennan Johnson off the
Two
bench is
assists off the bench. Two assists off the bench, right? Brennan Johnson.
yeah, 2 assists of the bench exactly. So it's working. So why change? You know. So I think
Visa,
and
Johan Visa, good goal.
yeah. Oh, by goal of the week probably for me. As much as Foden is very close, I
Foden
know
was
Chelsea का mistake था. Foden and Visa, यार. Visa was deserved that goal. If I'm being very honest, I was
Rashford's goal was pretty all right. I mean, it doesn't really
oh yeah,
matter. We
Rashford's
lost.
goal also, man. How can I
No, but it
forget?
doesn't matter. We lost, right? The goal of the week should at least go to a team that has affected the game. No, we ended up losing that. So
Fair point,
goal
fair
was
point.
nice.
लेकिन I'll just क्या formation करना है भाई team of the week में? Everyone, let me
As
know.
a goal was good. As a goal was good.
As a goal, yeah, it's a free kick. लेकिन वो free kick was needless to be given. But having said that, 3-5-2 करेंगे. 3-5-2 में ज़्यादा midfielders आएंगे because this was one of those weeks जहाँ पर we have like crazy amount of. We'll quickly do this. We'll not go like poll and all नहीं डालेंगे. I'll just quickly take the opinion from the panel and the chat. Who was the best?
Goalkeeper is easy for me. Kelleher. We are going goalkeeper first, right? Kelleher.
Yeah.
Easy.
Who's that?
Kelleher.
Keller.
I don't know
Everyone
how you say
agrees.
his
I
first name. It's
disagree.
Irish. I don't know how to say his first
I
name
disagree.
properly.
मैं बोलता हूँ by the way Leno was very good. Leno was very good. I think Fulham के 3-0 victory में. But Areola saved a penalty as well. I know he conceded one goal. Areola saved a penalty. I think it's got to be Areola. Saving a penalty obviously requires extra brownie points. Vicario बोल रहे swap. I'm like surprised, bro. लेकिन he's good. Jokes apart. Keller or Leno को shouted, but quickly I think Areola. Anyone disagrees, let me know. I think Areola, because of the penalty, we might actually give him this time. Or West Ham have actually come back in the season. Yeah, मुझे लगा था they're dropping off, but no, they're coming back. So credit to them, it is due. Centre backs, guys. एक और मतलब again a Chelsea player who's playing for them, Zuma. He scored a goal. Romero, Spurs fans, Romero scored a goal. I know. And be honest, Spurs fans, nothing against you, nothing against the player. He's a brilliant player, but I hate his attempt to kind of just वो wind up करता है ना opposition को, and that's something which Rudiger always did. I know that my own player did that. Some players have it in them. लेकिन as an opposition you hate, as a fan of their club you love them. Romero is one of those players. Similarly, Bruno Guimaraes is also one of those players. But what are you saying, Nathan? Any particular defenders who stood out? Absolutely. By the way, Varane was really good up until obviously the goals went.
Varane was very good. Can I? I can't give him a shout out. We didn't have a good week this week. Diego Dallo has been one of the best players in 2024.
Dallo has really stood up in when Van Bissaka nahi raha hai,
he really stepped up. That's all.
I think
Romero, you got to give Romero one spot for sure, right?
हाँ, Romero को दे भाई.
I don't think I can. At least 2 spots. Van Dijk winner, clutch winner.
Romero. By the way, Fulham का I know it's a 3 the back, but I think you know what, एक बंदा बनता है. I'm actually giving it to the Robinson.
Robinson. Oh,
Robinson. He was really good.
what a cross he has, huh? Anthony
Yeah.
Robinson. Oh.
I don't know, bhai. I know Van Dijk shouts are coming in. Lekin, in my opinion, Fabian Schär gets it, man. I don't know, just about. Again, I just watched the extended highlights of both the games, to be honest. Man of the match, chalo, Van Dijk ko dete. Chat OPR, chat ko sunte. So let's actually go with Virgil Van Dijk, a Dutch player who's actually been. Credit to him the way वो आया यार injury के बाद में. I have to say that as well, by the way. And captain material is proven to be. CDM, everyone, बोलिएगा again. CDM में एक नाम तो ऑलरेडी बोल दिया, ब्रूनो गुमारेश. Rodri, of course, bhai. Rodri was a difference maker in that second half, big time. West Ham had some brilliant performances. I said Ariola, Zuma, Suchek, Edson Alvarez. For people who don't know, बहुत अच्छा गया था उसका game week.
Suchek and Alvarez both got a goal, even didn't they?
Yeah, I think Alvarez in
Wow,
particular.
they scored both in extra time. They both got goals in extra time. Wow.
I don't know, मतलब yeah, what we can do is, मेरे पास एक idea है. Liverpool fans, I don't know if you would agree, but I thought on the night, as a overall, I know different players, but I think McAllister, exactly. I think McAllister probably deserves it. और यहाँ पर I think Newcastle player एक deserve करता, तो मैं Fabian Schär को डाल रहा हूँ as much as you man match. तो वीटो कर रही है हमारा, और एक और बंदा आई थिंक रॉड्री बनता है यार. ये तो नहीं, रॉड्री बनता है दूसरा, टू बी ऑनेस्ट. एज मच एज इवन बोर्नमथ का प्लेयर, क्या नाम है उसका, ही वाज गुड. लुइस कुक वाज गुड, राइट? लुइस कुक. लेट मी सी व्हाट द चैट इज सेइंग. मिडफील्ड में सुचेक, मैकएलिस्टर को देते हैं.
I think actually didn't Alvarez have a better game than Suchek actually?
Alvarez
I mean they're partners, but
या वही है, क्योंकि दोनों को नहीं दे रहा, तो दोनों के नहीं दे रहा. एनीवे वी हैव पिक्ड, आई नो बाट नहीं रहे लाइक बैलेंदो डज, बट वी हैव गिवन Ariola इन गोल.
right wing has to be Jared Bowen, right? Has to be, right?
Jared Bowen, you think so? I thought Foden, Foden has to be that guy.
I mean, you can't have this team without Jared Bowen, right? For this week at least, he did get a hat trick.
I don't know, matlab.
Oh, sorry, no, it wasn't this game. Apologies.
लेकिन again, you can put Foden as a cam, वो भी कर सकते हैं. और Madison and Bernardo Silva also had some great games, by the way. I have to say, Brennan Johnson 2 assists as a substitute. लेकिन
no, I think Foden is actually correct. I was mixing up the games. It was Foden.
Yeah, it was the previous game week ना. तो मैं Foden को दे रहा हूँ भाई, right wing. Foden I think is a no-brainer. As much as हम shout out दे सकते हैं बाकी लोग को. Again, मतलब Harry Wilson, Fulham. I think he had a very good game. For people in case आपने देखा नहीं, check it out. Left wing by ex-Chelsea man who supposedly have got a song against Chelsea. Bhai, let me tell you, Spurs fans, respect, but no respect for that song. Werner does not hate Chelsea. Let's be very clear about it. Werner has won his Champions League with Chelsea, और वो essential था Champions League में, as much as league में नहीं किया था. But Timo Werner, I think he missed a goal, but shout out है. But he also scored a goal.
Do you think he maybe people feel that way because he was mistreated towards the end? Maybe like harsh. There was some bad feelings or something.
36 का आंकड़ा हो गया था between him and Tuchel. Exactly, that happened. You're right.
Could be that reason.
लेकिन he always gave his all.
Sometimes it's not to do with the club. It's more like a personal kind of thing.
Exactly, doesn't. मतलब you got a song though. पता नहीं क्यों Spurs going fans have actually got a song. And a song तो ऐसे कर देते हैं chant. But yeah, he's actually a good guy. But not liking the fact that he's playing for Spurs. Cam, I think यहाँ पर मैं I don't know. मतलब should I put another City player और आप बोलोगे यार bit too much हो गया. I think Bernardo Silva up until say 60 minutes, I think he was the best player on the park. मेरा personal opinion, as much as बहुत अच्छा defense था from United for the first 60 minutes, but I would say Bernardo Silva was actually quite sensational. Madison, I don't know Spurs fans if you watched the entire game, बोलिएगा anyone in the chat. Left wing Gordon is what I think is a no-brainer. Probably Gordon को देंगे. Luis Diaz shout out है, but again Gordon was the difference maker, I thought. नहीं? Cam, or we can do one more thing, क्योंकि McAllister also can play as Cam, so we can put CDM में, we can put maybe Alvarez.
I mean to be fair, McAllister kind of played all over the pitch, didn't he?
Yeah, so I don't know. What would you go for, Nathan? Putting Madders in the team, considering that victory that they got, important one, or he got an assist?
I think Cam is probably the most difficult decision to be made this week, because there was not exactly the most standout performances, because it was mostly wingers.
Chelsea fans, Gallagher, anyone? By the way, Caicedo had a good game. I must be saying Caicedo is really coming up for a change after last year. I think it was a disastrous start from Caicedo, लेकिन he came like superbly in the last 2 months. तो shout out है भाई अपने players. I forgot Chelsea के players भाई. I think you know what? I don't know. मतलब वीसा तो striker में डालेंगे ना ज़्यादा. I think put Foden in camp. So आप बोल रहे हैं. नहीं यार. You know what? Let me just veto this in that sense. So we've probably यहाँ पर because of the fact that it was big. I think you know what? Let's put McAllister in the cam position and let's have Edson Alvarez. I think Suchek और Alvarez में से एक बंदा तो बनता है यार, to be very honest to them, fair to them, right? Striker guys, come on, let's have again. Diaz had an amazing game. Fiery, I'm a huge fan. आप जानते हो, लेकिन because
it's Watkins has to be the.
Yeah, Watkins is a no-brainer, yeah, no-brainer. Again, definitely not putting Haaland after the miss, although he scored.
Oh no, you can't put Haaland did a Sterling, didn't he? Like right
अगर
from
वही
in
चीज
front of the goal, he hits it
Sterling,
over.
Torres जो भी बोल दो, वही चीज अगर जैक्सन या नूनेस करता ना, we all know what would have happened. Nathan, if I speak
Oh, if
Calvin
Nunez did it, people would never hear the end of it.
Yeah, fair point, Ramit. Absolutely. But I think, by the way, if Fulham से हम डाले हैं एक left back, लेकिन Muniz again, I think if I'm not wrong, he scored a goal. Nunez, of course, getting that all important 3 points for Liverpool as a substitute. Son, anyone? Son or I think Visa डालूंगा यार. I think as much as
I was
Chelsea,
going to say Visa because of the goal,
sensational.
but
He was unplayable. Directly मैं बोलता हूँ, he was unplayable actually. I'll be honest. As much as we should have defended better, I think this is the team of the week, guys. Son को shout out 100%. यहाँ पर Swap I think will be angry because we have finally got only one Tottenham player despite a very important victory. But West Ham say there are two players, guys. City say we have put what, two players. How did Bernardo Silva not get in is a surprise, but it is what it is. Fulham से एक player है, Newcastle से I believe there's one player, so I think it's fair. Everyone Newcastle से दो player डाल दिए चलो. That is what we have done. Okay, so I think it's fair. Again, Nunez was a substitute, and that goal itself was controversial because of the refereeing. So not Nunez's fault. इसलिए हम Nunez को shout out दिए. Stones over Rodri this week. To be very honest, respectfully disagree. I think Stones, as much as he keeps the ball, it's important. मैं यहाँ खफा हूँ more not Stones से, मैं खफा हूँ Pep Guardiola से. He's wasting Kovacic's brilliant career right now. I think Kovacic had to go, one level above. वो नीचे जा रहा है. I don't think Kovacic is equal to Calvin Phillips. That is making him sit and playing him only against Lutons and the Copenhagens. That's a disrespect to Kovacic, in my personal opinion. Honest to God, I have no other words to say that. I don't know if you agree with that, Nathan.
no, but he's already admitted as much to saying the similar thing to Palmer, right? Like I couldn't give him
No,
game time. I would
that is
love to
what I'm
keep
trying
him.
to say. Calvin Phillips and Palmer were much younger in the career. They have not achieved. They are not so experienced. Kovacic in
No,
midfield
I was saying in terms of how he was going to use them. I think Cole Palmer realized, or they had a talk like, I'm not going to use you as much. So I feel like Kovacic has kind of become the victim of that, unfortunately, as well, where he for some reason can't see to put Kovacic into the team. That's what I
No,
meant in
yeah, I
that
don't.
similar way. Not
I will not
in
accept.
the,
Pep is basically again. I know he has a lot of resources at his disposal. Of big up to Man City for doing that project well. लेकिन he uses. I know he doesn't use much substitute एक तो एक चीज है. लेकिन in the biggest game or rather at least derby wise में in terms of rivalry or title race में it was one of the biggest games in this month. और आई नो बैक टू बैक आप लिवरपूल के साथ खेल रहे हो, which is a huge game by the way coming weekend में, लेकिन उसमें भी आप मतलब you are telling me that Kovacic is not good enough to keep the ball and basically do what John Stones is saying. Really, John Stones is awesome and I know he keeps the ball, that is his ball playing ability, but Kovacic against resistance press, bro, we have all seen what he's done for Real Madrid and Chelsea, even in his youth days for Inter Milan. So I'm not having any of it. To be very honest, as much as Nunez is more like a legs guy, Kovacic is someone who's a brilliant footballer. Yeah. Again, मतलब we can agree to disagree if anyone does, City fans especially. लेकिन मेरे लिए Kovacic is happy earning there and getting trophies maybe, which is so ironical क्योंकि he's won a lot previously. I know Premier League नहीं जीता है, so for me it is very surprising. But it is what it is. क्या ही कर सकते हैं. बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. इसलिए उसको डाल दिया
actually, on the subject of players, since we were talking about Visa, would you take Visa? Because I was very high on Visa. I think he's one of the best super subs the league has, up and down. Would
Honestly,
you take
अभी
him
right
today?
now, I would want someone
27?
who's been there, done that in a big league. नहीं तो in a big club.
But I feel like Johan Visa has done it a lot for the Premier, even though he's like third.
नहीं
He's
नहीं
like
ऐसा
third
big
choice
club
over
करना अलग
Mbamo and
चीज़ है.
Tony.
देखो मतलब a lot of people have done it. For me, मेरा you know where I am right now. People might see that it's not right. But firstly, FFP is an issue that we might probably go for cheaper options. Secondly, you know, I'm rather not sell the players who probably know Chelsea even for 1.5 seasons than you know just keep chopping and changing. क्योंकि these guys need to understand the football playing week in week out और वो बहाने नहीं चलेंगे बार बार की change हुआ है. I want them to suffer right now at least for the next you know few months. Up until the summer window is done and then हाँ of course we need a striker no two ways about it लेकिन वो एक ऐसा बंदा होना
He
चाहिए
could play wing even. He could play wing even. We saw they used to play him on the wing.
नहीं, right now I want a proper winger probably if we are not seeing a future for Mudryk right now if he goes on loan or something लेकिन I think I need a proper number 9 first and that's a no brainer because you have Jackson who could play there and I think Jackson in my opinion as much as people might not want to hear it he's actually a starter for Chelsea but definitely not a striker. That's the difference. क्योंकि वो गेम प्ले डिफरेंस होता है.
If I could ask you just randomly, nothing related to your current squad issues, if you could take a Brentford player, barring Tony, is there any player you would take that you see like talent in that? I mean, maybe no one's looking at. Because there's always been one player in my mind. I think people in the chat will know who I'm going to say. So I'll
by default हम Brighton के पास ही जाते हैं ना. Evan Ferguson is that is that guy you're saying, but and he's not bad, but come on. I think मतलब of course there are names here. I think Mbeumo is a good name again. To be very honest, I think but लेकिन वही है visa वाला चीज है. He could play on the wing as well as basically play centrally. Norgard, I don't know. मतलब come on.
So Sumit's close. Mine. I really like him. Matthias Jensen. Yeah, I like Matthias Jensen how he plays. I really think that whatever little Denmark thing they have going on in Brentford is working very well. Roverslov, Norgard,
maybe
it's working well.
Sometimes. But कोई नहीं guys, a lot of it that we discussed, of course, we'll come back with the transfer news. Of course, UCL week भी है, huge week. Man City getting a good victory, and again, let's be real, Copenhagen के साथ it'll be a formality. But we'll discuss tactically थोड़ा बहुत as well as the team news etc. कल I don't know, we might do a little bit earlier stream, guys. Let's see if I can get a panel on again, and we'll try and do a earlier stream than usual. नहीं तो आपको पता ही इस time पर आते हैं. Everyone, जो भी लोग जुड़े, I hope we have about 200 likes on the stream. But most importantly, everyone watching or who's watched has subscribed to Sportsnut Nathan. Check it out, guys. Doesn't take a buck. एक प्रेस ऑफ अ बटन एब्सोल्युटली और साथ में ऑलमाइटी स्पोर्ट्स को भी करिए बिकॉज यस लॉट ऑफ पीपल बीन आस्किंग मी क्रिकेट स्ट्रीम्स. क्रिकेट में हम वीडियोस कर रहे थे इस यू नो कपल ऑफ वीक्स में बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली टेस्ट मैचेस गोइंग ऑन. टेस्ट मैचेस में लाइव स्ट्रीम्स आई डोंट थिंक लॉट ऑफ पीपल वांट बट ऑफ कोर्स नाउ कमिंग बैक IPL is closer, T20 World Cup is coming closer और थोड़ा बहुत motivation levels was down because of our 50 over World Cup लेकिन वापस से आ रहा है तो we are restarting, we are working on a lot of things. I have some surprise for you on the Almighty Sports channel. तो आप bell icon दबाइए. There are a few more you know a lot of you know say shots coming in etc. But even more than that,
before we go, can I ask you one more question, Ankit, if you don't mind?
Yeah, come on.
So prediction for today's match.
Arsenal.
We'll end on a high note, hopefully. This week.
I think as much as we would love that, Nathan, the reality is that Arsenal are winning, bro. With extra day break as well. I think they're winning. Like in league, I still believe that is going to be City. As much as I know Liverpool are having the momentum, and if I speak, I'll be in trouble. But I think it will be between them two. I feel. I don't know, but. देखेंगे भाई अब लॉट वो हर एक वीक का चर्चा होते रहता भाई. एवरीवन बिग अप शाउट आउट ईच एंड एवरीवन इन नेथन स्पेशल शाउट आउट एज वेल एज द मॉडर्न मेंबर्स नो मैटर व्हाट विल बी देयर. कम ऑन मैन, कम ऑन, कल मिलते हैं.